Hello and welcome to what hopefully is the final part of this video. We're going to wire this all in. I'm having a few little problems in the sense of where to put everything, but we're going to kind of wire it in and then maybe go placement afterwards. The first thing we need to do, I need to put this connection, these three wires in this connection block. Now you're not able to see on camera, but you've got they're marked 1, 2 and 3. And the easiest way to find out which ones are which, if you come on to your other one, it's actually marked 1, 2 and 3. So we know number 1 is red. So I can put the red one into number 1 because they're matching up with the same, they're also matching up. These just push in. You just need to push them in and they clip in just like that. So number 2 has to be black, only one left. Right, so got that done, that's the easy part. Now they're all in. Just connect this just to make sure it actually does work. And there we go. I've just pulled out them connections. So just need to make sure that's definitely in properly. It is now. Try again. Now, so we have that connected up. Now hopefully you can see here, yeah you can. This is the only place I can think of putting this control box. I can put it closer down here to the coil, but I don't want to put it down there because all the crap from the road can come up and hit it. Even though it's a sealed unit, but I just want to keep it as clean as possible. I'd like to get it inside here, but the wires aren't long enough. So the only place I can really think of putting it that it's going to be easy to get to, because that's the key, we need it easy to get to if we're having problems with it, is here. Now it doesn't affect anything here, you know, we can still get the air filter and everything out, but I would personally prefer to kind of hide it a bit more than that, but I can't really see me being able to do that, unfortunately. And at least now with this I can actually hide the wires underneath here, so you're not going to really be able to see the wires as such. So I think that's where I'm going to put it. It's the only place I can put it. So what we need to do now is wire it in. I've disconnected the battery, and the power off the battery, so that's important. That's the first thing we need to do. And it's kind of straightforward after that. We have this violet wire here, which goes to the negative side of the coil, so that just clips in the coil. We have a black, which is an earth, so again that can actually be bolted in behind the unit and be put to an earth, so that's simple enough. Now the next one is this red wire. Now there's a few different ways of doing this. What we need is we need a switchable line, and what I mean by that is, so as soon as the ignition turns on, this has to be live. This isn't a constant live. If you put this in a constant live, you'll burn out the box, because you're only supposed to have this unit on for 10 minutes before, 10 minutes without starting the car. So any longer than 10 minutes with the ignition on, you could do damage. So we need it, so as you turn the ignition on, this switches to live. Now we can most probably go to the coil for that, or what we can also do is go to the ignition. The only downside to it is it's a lot more wiring. So what I need to do now is, we have a few wires we're not using. These 2 wires we're not going to use again. These are for the old points. And we have a wire on the coil pack which we're not going to use. So what I'm going to do to find out which wires are which, even though to be fair they're the same colour, but I'm going to show you how to figure out which is the right wire. Now what I'm going to do to find out which wire is which, I've got my tester and I've put it on a continuity test. So when I put them together, wait for the traffic to stop, you hear a buzzer. So I'm going to put it on this end and then pull it to the coil end, which you can't, I don't think you can see. I've got the wire here. And just put this in here. And as you can hear, that is buzzing. So we know we don't need that wire anymore. And what that does is, that releases a connection for our box. So we can now put the violet wire on the coil, so it goes on the negative, and all we need to do with this we won't cut this away. I'm just going to take that up, if you can see that. I'm just going to take that up so it's out of the way. I'm going to leave the wire in there, but it's not going to be used. So again, if you want to convert it back, you've got that option. Same with these. I'm just going to put these together, tape them up so they're not going to catch anything, and just kind of hide them down there, because there's no point cutting. So all we really need to do now is put the earth on and connect this. We are simply wired up. I'm still going to have to hide all the wires, but we're essentially there. So now I have the main feed here, so when you turn on the ignition, this sends the full voltage to the coil. But the problem is, as you can see, it's very, very rusty, and sometimes I'm getting 12 volts, sometimes I'm only getting 2 volts. It could just be the connection, or it could be a problem with the wire all in here. I've tried tracing it back, but this connection is stopping me, so I'm going to put a new connection on it, and then I'm going to see, was it just a connection, or have we got other problems? Once I've got a good clean connection, I know I can kind of go on and see if I can trace the wire. But then if I'm getting a good clean connection here and I'm always getting voltage, I know it was just a connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a straight connection on. Crimp it down. Just check it to make sure it's okay. Got my heat wrap then, which I'm just going to seal it. The reason why I don't like using the sealed type ones is because they're not. They don't seem to give a good seal. Water can get in behind here, and once water gets in behind and it starts sitting in here, it'll just rust it. Sometimes you're better off with just leaving the connection bare, to be fair, but you don't want it to cross anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this heat strap on it, which will then close both ends, and we should be fine. Now, as you can see, that end's completely closed. So for the water's going to have to get all the way up there to settle in there, which is not going to really happen. But the most important thing is now I've got a good connection, so I can now try and see if we've got problems with voltage. Was it just the connection, or was it other things? Now I've done that, and it looks like we're okay in the sense of, hopefully it's going to come through. When I put the connection on, we're getting 15 volts. Now the reason we're getting 15 volts is because I'm charging the battery. So normally you wouldn't be getting 15 volts just because I've got the battery charger on. But as you can see, we're constantly getting that now, where before we was up on 3 volts and then 8 volts, and so we was up and down. Now we're getting a constant steady voltage. So that's good. It looks like it was just the actual connection, and like I said, this personally, no water's going to get in here. It's kind of the best way of doing it, in my opinion. So, now we know we've got that, which has saved me a lot of hassle. Because rather than try and trace back the wire, trying to find a cut, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to put, lucky enough, on the kit we get for the power wire, they gave us a little connection, which I can't get off. They gave us a little connection which actually will bolt onto the coil, and it'll give us the right connection so we can connect the power wire. The reason why I can connect the power wire to this coil is because once you turn the ignition off, the power goes off, which is important. If the power didn't go off and that box stayed powered, you would damage it. But because it goes off, I can actually put it to the coil, which just saves me a hell of a lot of wiring and a lot of messing around. I'm using all the connections that came with it, so it's going to be nice and neat. We're not going to have an issue as regards that. All I've got to do is loosen the 8mm bolt on the coil, and I'm going to fit this wire to it. Right, so I've replaced all the connections on the coil. There's no point me showing you because it's exactly the same way as I did the first one. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to mount this box. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it. If you use self-tappers, which I personally don't like, because if you're self-tappers, to screw them in once and leave them there, no problem. But if you need to screw it out or anything like that, you're not going to be able to do it. Self-tappers, once you screw them in and out a few times, they're kind of no good. So what I'm going to use is this gadget. Now, this is like a pop rivet gun, but these rivets are special. And I don't know if the camera's going to show, but inside them is threads. So I drill a hole, I put this through the hole, clamp it down, and when it leaves behind, it leaves a threaded nut, you could say, behind, captive nuts, which means I can screw them in and out loads of times. It will earth it as well, it'll do everything it needs to do, and it's absolutely brilliant. So what I need to do first is put this in a place where I can use it, and then mark it. So I think there is good. Get my Tipex. Hopefully the Tipex will mark it for me. It's marked one. Where has it marked the other one? Put that back. Over my Tipex mark. Hope I'm not getting in the way of this. And let's try and mark that. Doesn't want to mark the other one for some reason. We'll drill one first anyway to line it up. It's always best to do one first, just so we get it lined up. 7.5mm drill bit. Now you have to be careful, there's nothing in behind it because I'm now drilling where the wheel is, so you want to make sure you're not going to pop the tyre, you're not going to cut any wires or anything, so you do have to be careful. And make sure your battery in your drill is charged. Now what will happen is, that will fit down there as you can see. Once I crimp that together, you'll have a lovely threaded bit left behind. They're absolutely brilliant. Before I do that, I need to sand this. I just like to get a bit of sandpaper on just to take the paint off, just to make it a little bit better as regards, because I'm going to earth this. Now actually I don't need to do it on this one. I'll do it on this one. Well, it doesn't really matter, I'll do it on this one, but I need to do it on one of them, because I'm going to put the earth for the box on it. Now, that'll do lovely. Next thing I want to do is just thread this bar onto this machine, very simple. As you can see, let's thread it down a little bit more, and now just put it in and squeeze. I just need to thread that a bit more. Now you can actually turn this down. You need to go a bit more. As we can see, what we got left behind is a perfect threaded bolt left behind. And you know, you can take this in and out loads of times, it's not going to affect anything. I'm just doing it from underneath so I can make sure it's not going to hit the tyre, not going to do anything. It's nice and strong, you can use that over and over again, so you can take the box in and out, and yeah, I mean it really is as simple as that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the next one, and then we can plant the box. Now this is where I've got to hope nothing's moved. I've got my measurements right. There's always a chance something's moved. And we're looking good. I have to cut these bolts, but I just want to make sure they actually fit. Now, that's brilliant. So the bolts line up. I'm going to have to cut them, maybe cut them in half. But yeah, that's it. So that's the next thing. I'm just going to cut these. I'm going to put them on properly. I'm going to put the earth underneath onto it. Once I've done that, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll go from there. Now we're really ready and I'm getting excited. I have the box in, it's nice and mounted, so that's in, that's good. The wires are messy at the minute. I'm not going to worry about the wires because I want to make sure this starts before I start kind of tidying the wires up. I got the distributor in now. The distributor's lined up, but I could be 180 degrees out. I'm not sure yet. Because we've had the distributor in and out a lot of times, I might be 180 degrees out, but if I am, I just need to turn the engine again. If I am, I'll show you. It's fairly straightforward. So we have the distributor in. It's not tight, I can still adjust it. I've disconnected this wire, so I'm going to have to connect this wire back, and I also haven't connected the main power wire yet, but I'll do that in a minute. But what I'm going to do next is I want to show you the spark plug gap. So with the new one now, because we've got modern electronics in it, we need 0.6 of a mil of a gap, so 0.6, and as we can see I've got the feeler gauge there and that's 0.6, just so it's kind of tight. So we know the gap is okay, so we can put number one spark plug back in. Now, so that's in. Next thing I want to do is put what? You can't hear when it clips in, it's a bit. I would prefer to hear a click, but I can't really hear anything. I'm not actually in. It's not a nice feeling. There we go. I'm in now. I heard it that time. So we've got 1, 2. Clear it up. Now, I have all the leads on. Now I think they're on. They feel like they're on. I don't like the feeling of them, to be honest. It doesn't really feel great, but we'll know in a few minutes. Hopefully they're on. So I'm going to put the cap back on, the rotary arm back on, and I'll put the cap on. Lined up. The cap is now on, the rotary arm is on. Like I said, I'm not worried about all the wires in kind of a messy thing for the minute. I'm going to connect this back. Now, I think we are ready. The vacuum pipe off here. Goes underneath the air filter, so I'll put that on. Like I said, we might be 180 degrees off, but we'll know fairly quickly if we are, because it's going to kind of go bang, 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 bang. So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to now see. Take off the battery charger, connect the battery lead back up properly, turn the camera back on, and we're ready to start. Right, so here we go. Like I said, a couple of things could happen now. Is it could start banging and backfiring because we're 180 degrees off. It might not even try and start because we might not have these spark plugs on properly. But what we're going to do now is we're going to see. So just crank it, see what happens. Well, that doesn't seem like it's going fast enough. No. Try again. Okay, yep. Right, we might have to put jump leads on this. That doesn't seem like it's going fast enough.
No, it doesn't.
Will your jump leads reach from the van?
Move the car back a bit.
Move the van back a bit easier. Yeah, try again.
So it went.
Go for it. Hey! Yeah! Pull it off! Pull it off! Fucking.
Turn it off.
Because the what do you call it? The chopper, I haven't sealed the chopper will fly off. It works! Ha! Oh man, I'm well impressed.
Sounded fucking nice, you know.
It sounds nice. Now the reason why I'm more excited than kind of usual is because this kit was never designed for this car. I basically mocked it all up. I've had to get the measurements, and if I was wrong with the measurements, it wouldn't work. So the fact that it works, and it does sound kind of nice, that's why I'm really happy, because rather than just sticking a kit in, I kind of feel proud that I've managed to, well, so far anyway, I mean, let's not get carried away, but it's a nice feeling to know that you basically made something, well, not so much made something, but made something fit that wasn't designed for the car. So, yeah, let's get it on! Right, the reason why I turned it off was because I didn't know, get under here, this chopper. Now, it hasn't moved, but because this chopper isn't secure, what I was worried about is if it started to come out this way, that chopper could hit that. I don't think it's going to so much break the infrared sensor, but it'll break the chopper, and then I'm going to be it's more hassle. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and find some washers just to pack this little space up, just for the time being, just so I can have this running a little bit for a lot longer, and just to see if I'm okay. So that's what I've got to find now, some washers that are going to sit over this and not interrupt with the infrared sensor. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this yet. I think gluing it is going to be the answer, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But what I'm worried about is it pulling away from it. So I made this little spacer. It's just a bolt. I cut out the middle, and I've just grinded it down so I've got the right thickness. What that's going to do is that's going to sit in there. Once I put the cover on, it's going to stop the chopper from coming out. So it should mean I should be able to start this for longer. Now that chopper might not move, but I just want to be on the safe side. So I'm just going to put this back, then we're going to start it again and leave it running this time for a bit longer. Now, this back on. This back on. And now let's stop it.
Fingers.
Alright.
Ignition.
on a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. See that? I'm going to leave this ticking over. As you can see, it's rising up. Move the camera out of the way. Now I have to say, that sounds very sweet. I thought I might have to do a bit of tuning, but I don't think I'm going to have to, but I won't know yet. I'm going to let this heat up first, because it's important to let this heat up and see if it starts when it's hot. That's the important thing. Because we'll know if it starts when it's hot, we'll know we've got the timing kind of right. So we're just going to have to let this heat up first. But I have to say, so far so good. Ah! Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Right, as you can see, we've got everything nice and tidy. I hope this is all coming across. I've tidied all the wires, but not only that, again, hopefully I can show you this. I've put conduit around all the wires, just so you see it coming here. Comes all the way up here and all the way down there. I've left the middle there where it's joined, and then I've put conduit all the way in there. So all the wires are covered by conduit. This black conduit is absolutely brilliant. You can get all different colours, but it protects the wires. It makes them look neater. When you look down there, you can't really see it, so you're not seeing 3 or 4 different wires, all different colours. It just looks a million times neater. If you're going to do a job, you might as well do it properly. And basically, you get it in all different thicknesses and different sizes, but it's a split in one end, as you can see, and you just feed your wires or whatever you are going through it. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's not really that expensive for what it can do. The next thing I'm going to do is I have to strip all this now again, because I have to glue everything in place and Locktite everything. So once I've got all this stripped off, I will show you what I'm going to do with it. Right, as you can see, we're back down into the innards of the distributor. I'm going to take off the little spacer I made. We don't need that anymore. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this rotor again, just with a new mark, so I know exactly where it goes. So now I need to take off this rotor, or the chopper should I say, which lucky enough I can just do. A bit of luck, but again we can do it. Now what I need to do, I need to undo all these bolts and put Locktite on all of them. So I'll do one and I'll show you, and then there's no point me showing you the rest because it's going to be all the same. So I'm going to take one off at a time. So just put Locktite over it and put quite a lot because I want it to stay there. I'm going to tighten that up. Just do the same with all the other 4. Once I've done that, I'll turn the camera back on. Now, I've just noticed the camera wasn't recording, so I don't know how much I've got of this. What I've done is I've mixed some 2-pack epoxy glue and I've put a bit of sand in it, just to give it a bit of a gritty feel to it, just so when it sits in it. So, like I said, I don't know how much I've got, but I've just mixed some 2-pack epoxy glue and I've just pushed it on, and all I'm doing is now I'm just gathering the glue from the bottom and just keep making sure it's going to go around the whole thing nice and evenly. So yeah, I was talking to myself on the camera, and unfortunately it was a kind of important part that I've missed. Well, all I was doing, to be fair, is just I put all glue inside the chopper and I just pushed it on, and as the glue was coming out, because obviously I used too much, the glue came out on this side, and I'm just trying to keep the glue set so it's all around nice and even. It's not just glooping to the bottom too much. It's going to take me a few minutes just to be messing around with this to keep it as nice and even as I can. And after a few minutes, hopefully that's set and we're sorted. So I'm going to turn the camera off. Once I've got this set, we'll turn it back on, and hopefully we are more or less done. Yeah, can't believe I missed all that. Anyway, like I was explaining, it's just 2-pack epoxy glue. I mixed it with sand, put it inside the chopper, pushed the chopper onto the bar and let it set. That's essentially all I did. Now, it's all set. I've got a nice glue all the way around and inside, so hopefully it shouldn't go anywhere. The only other thing I did, I slightly trimmed the chopper blades. Just took a few mil off each blade just to give me a little bit more clearance. It's not going to affect anything, but I just did it. And now all I've got to do is put this back. This should hopefully fit now, because the glue, now that's the important part. If you do this, make sure you don't put the glue too far down this shaft, because otherwise this won't fit on. So you have to be careful there. This should now go on, as it does. Push that back in there, that's just a little seal. The seal can go back. And now all I've got to do is put the 3 bolts back in, 3 little screws. These 3 are now tight. There we go. Right, I've cleaned all the marks, all my Tipex marks off the distributor. I've also cleaned them off here, but what I've done is, the camera might not show up, but I've got a little saw blade and I've just put a cutter mark into this. The reason why I've done that is because if we have a problem with this down the line, if this moves, I'll know it's got moved and I know where to set it to. The Tipex marks can look a bit untidy, so that's why I've done that. Next thing to do is tidy up this and take all the Tipex marks off my cap, because again, it can just look untidy. Now, I need to now start this again to make sure everything is okay, but before I do that, I'm just going to wipe all these Tipex marks off this. Right now, we've pretty much done everything, cleaned up all the wires, glued everything in. I've left the glue for about half an hour or so, even though it does dry in about 5-10 minutes. I've left it for half an hour before I start it. I'm going to start it, let's see if it does start. If it doesn't, we're in trouble. So I'm going to see if it starts, and if it starts, I'm going to take it for a drive over the next couple of days just to make sure everything's working fine. So fingers crossed. The choke is on, but it does start, sounds good, so I'm glad that this video has worked. Take this for a drive over the next few days, and yeah, so look, don't forget, check out the shop and everything, and hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget to get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.